Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today's build is the one-hit KO Abomination. Now this is based off of an interaction that was accidentally found by Soulweaver. He was leveling a character, he happened to have on a certain idol while using a certain skill, while he had on a certain unique, and it led him to realize an interaction that was kind of a bug, kind of an oversight, basically something that's not really working as intended, or at least not in the way that it should be intended to be used. And what it led to was he brought it to me, and there were several things right off the bat that I saw with the interaction that could lead to a very overpowered build, such as this Abomination build, and there's a couple others in the works. Now it is worth noting you do not have to have a unique. In order to have this interaction work, there is just one idol that you have to have, and it is a very common idol that everyone probably already has, or that you can find fairly easily in the game. There are no uniques needed, but I should remind you that this is not the way that this was intended to be used, so it's likely to get fixed, whether that be in a hot fix or if it waits all the way till next patch. It may give you a little bit of time to play with it, just to enjoy the Abomination for what he really should feel like. Alright, maybe it's a little more than what he should feel like, but at least he feels good. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills, the interactions, and just what makes this pop. For skills, I'm running a Dread Shade, Summon Bone Golem, Assemble Abomination, Aura of Decay, and Infernal Shade. For Dread Shade, we have this set up for the Abomination to get 100% crit, a bunch of attack speed, more damage as his life goes down, and of course the Abomination node that gives 60% more damage to the Abomination itself. We have 2 points in Flesh Harvest, 1 point in Dread Plague, 1 point in Martyrdom, 2 points in Spectral Presence, 3 points in Dying Coven, 1 point in Blind Fury, 3 points in Lingering Doom, 1 point in Pernicious Pact, 3 points in Doomed Wrath, and 1 point in Egoism. For Summon Bone Golem, we're just sacrificing him so that our Abomination will have even more life. We just want our Summon Bone Golem to have as much life as possible, so we have 5 points in Amalgam of Sentinels. After that, you can put the points anywhere you want. I went for 4 points in Tower of Bones, 4 points in Fragments of the Fallen, 5 points in Bladed Fist, and 2 points in Unnatural Speed. For the Assemble Abomination, because this comes down to how many minions you can channel in an infinite amount of duration, you want to be consuming them as fast as possible. So we have 5 points in Veracity and 1 point in Convicious Consumption, so you consume 2 at once at 100% increased speed. And then I have 2 points in Hulking Mass with 5 points in Engorgement, and this is where a lot of your damage will come from, if not most of it. For every minion that you consume, you will get 15% more damage, and because of that, naturally, with just the basic Assemble Abomination, you get 30% increased damage per minion. So now you get 30% increased and 15% more per minion, which really stacks up, especially when you start consuming hundreds if not thousands of minions, depending on how long you want to channel it. And then for the damage side, we have 2 points in Domination, 4 points in increased melee AoE, and 1 point in Reap the Damned, so that you gain Soul Reave. Because we're consuming nothing but Raise, we will get it, and it is a really huge, nice AoE for us. For Aura of Decay, this is the skill that you will need, and the reason for that is you need this skill to poison you so that you'll die over and over and over again. So you need 3 points in Rot Reaver and 1 point in Icarian Poison so that it will pick up in pace. After that, you can put your points anywhere, but here I have 3 in Unending Sickness, 5 in Seeping Wounds, 1 in Undertow, 4 in Plague Rat, and 3 in Bubonic Aura. For Infernal Shade, I have this set up just so that our minions can have, or our Abomination can have, 72% increased attack speed and move speed, which is huge, so this is all that I'm after. Then I have 1 point in Soulfire, 1 point in Subjugation, 1 point in Burn Trial, 1 point in Devour in Flames, 3 points in Influence, 3 points in Fanning the Flames, 1 point in Blaze Shade, 1 point in Fleeting Shade, and 5 points in Ignition. I tried some points in Wildfires, but this reduced duration along with the unlimited duration seems to have kind of counteracted each other, and it started flashing all of the time and it kind of bugged out, so I don't recommend putting any points into Wildfires. For passives, I have 26 points in the base Acolyte class, with 8 points in Forbidden Knowledge, 1 point in Mania of Mortality, 5 points in Unnatural Preservation, 5 points in Dark Rituals, 2 points in Stolen Vitality, and 5 points in Crimson Gluttony. For the Lich, we have 16 points, with 8 points in Crippling Insight, 4 points in Survival of the Coral, 1 point in Hollow Lich, and then mandatory 3 points in Wrathbringer. Mandatory. Must have this or you can't do this. And we have 69 points in the Necromancer Mastered. Didn't do that on purpose, I swear. 8 points in Risen Army, 4 points in Cursed Blood, 1 point in Blood Armor, 7 points in Mortal Tether, 8 points in Unearthed Arms, 3 points in Putrid Retribution, 5 points in Frantic Summons, 8 points in Tyrant, 10 points in Moonlight Prior, 5 points in River of Bones, and 10 points in Heresy. So for items and idols, this is completely based around just one idol, and that's having at least one idol equipped that gives you health on kill. You don't need any items. As you can see, I'm completely naked here, and that is exactly how we're going to run this to show you that the Abomination can do millions of damage without you even wearing anything. Now there are obviously some uniques like in Zanglius and Last Steps of the Living are going to increase your survivability. The Death Rattle can give you, a huge amount of minion critical strike multiplier. You can get flat damage from Eulogy of Blood, as well as many other things such as like the Ribbons of Blood that gives added melee physical damage as well as more leech, and it makes the Abomination unable to be crit. Things like that, along with crafted items. You can get plus levels to assemble Abomination, more minion health. You can get all sorts of things like that, but I'm not going to go over that here. I just want to prove to you how simple, how easy, how you don't have to gear, and just how broken this is. So again, the most important thing, make sure you get at least one idol that has health on kill. And then what it's going to come down to that Soulweaver found was that in your skills, you have the Aura of Decay, Icarian Poison, which is going to poison you. And then you have the idol that gives you health on kill. And what's going to happen is the kill that you get from poisoning yourself counts as a kill without actually killing you, because you get the life from the kill and you get stuck in a conundrum. So let's go ahead and show you exactly how that works. And I'm going to leave my character sheet open so you can see this does not require items. I'm going to have nothing on. You're going to put on your Aura of Decay, and naturally you can't see it because it's hidden behind the character sheet now. I'll just open and close it really quick, but you can see that you are getting poisoned and this will continue to stack. And because of this idol of health on kill, you're technically killing yourself, which means you should be dying, but for some reason you're being healed. And so when this happens, you start summoning those minions, because this counts as you getting kills, which means that the 15% passive you have to summon a Putrid Wrath on kill is being summoned right now, because you're killing yourself over and over and over again. And then you can just channel Abomination now that you have a free way of just making an unlimited amount of minions. So we'll sit here and we'll cast, and remind you that the damage may be a little bit littler here than you saw in the teaser video, but that's just because we're not wearing any gear, so there's no flat minion damage. But on top of that, we're also not going to channel for 10 minutes straight. I'm just going to do this for about a minute, minute and a half, and I'm going to show you just how much damage you can get with the Abomination without any gear on. Nothing required for this build. You're just going to summon him like this. You do it for a while. You can turn Aura of Decay off and then back on to get rid of the poison stacks for a minute, just to let your wraiths kind of calm down a bit, because once you get to about that 300, it might start lagging a little bit. This will let it die back down to about 30 and then pick up again. And then again, at the exact same time, you're going to want to cast Dread Shade and Infernal Shade on it when you're all done, and then just let it go nuts. You'll have to recast Dread Shade on it about every 20 seconds or so, because that's when Dread Shade will wear off, but it's going to give it a lot more damage, a lot more attack speed, and guaranteed crit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn Aura of Decay off. We're going to go ahead and use up the last of these minions. I'll put Dread Shade and Infernal Shade on. We'll go attack. I would assume the damage is going to be well over 1 million damage at this point, just due to how many minions that we did consume. But again, we don't have any gear, nothing on, and our bomb is still going to be sweet. Alright, that's all of it. We cast Dread Shade, you put Infernal Shade on, and then you just make him attack. And look at that, we're doing 4 million, 5 million damage. We have no gear on. this is nothing. This is just the interaction between Aura of Decay poisoning you and the health on kill, because you're killing yourself, healing you and not letting you die. Now you can put gear on. Like I said, we have all this gear. The Eulogy of Blood gives flat minion damage. The Ribbons of Blood gives flat melee physical damage. You can put a death rattle on for the extra minion crit multiplier, because again, every time you put on the Dread Shade, he's going to have that 100% crit and just do great damage. He's going to be leeching a huge portion of that, and he'll last for quite a few minutes because of that leech and because of how much health he has. So you can do 10 to 20 waves in the arena and keep repeating this process. You can go through a few echoes and then repeat this process. You can take on a boss without having to resummon in battle. It is a tedious thing, but again, if you're wanting to enjoy a minion that does a lot of damage, and you do have to kind of ramp up and build him up before you go into battle, it's a great way to do it. Alright, that's going to be it for this build guide. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've never used Abomination before, hopefully this brings you to use him, as it is quite a fun monstrosity to build up and to kind of abuse at this point. Of course, this is going to be fixed. There's no way this interaction is left in, so it's just a temporary thing. But it is fun if you've always wanted to show the bosses up and take revenge for how many times that they've killed you in the past. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some gameplay, and as always, stay safe, travelers.